So I'd say that.
What do you think, Kathy?
I don't even really know what a pine marten is.
Well, we were just...
Is it something that's just native to Manchester?
Well, no, because they were worried about me. We were just doing it, but we were distracting you by talking about your book.
You were, in the most beautiful way. It's lovely.
Well, it's lovely having you here. Should we do, like, an official intro?
Oh, go on,
Let's
go
do it,
on.
okay?
You can tell us whether we get this right as well, OK?
So, OK.
Is it true that just as a teenager you had huge success with your first book?
I did, Puberty Blues, that's right.
How old were you?
17.
Wow.
And is it true since then you haven't stopped putting pen to paper?
Well, it's cheaper than therapy.
There you go.
Yeah.
And is it true you've written 20 books?
20 books published in 19 languages, yes.
And the latest is The Revenge Club, which delves into the challenges women face in the working world. And
exactly.
I didn't realise, and I'm not going to spoil anything about the book, because by saying there are 4 very strong women who are friends after a lapsed friendship, they get back together. One of their stories is very reflective, like life imitating art and all of that, of yours.
That's true. Because, well, look, I think for women, life is in 2 acts. The trick is surviving the interval, which is the menopause, where you sweat more than Donald Trump doing a Sudoku, you know. But once you get through that, I think it's the best time of a woman's life. But just when you're at the peak of your productivity is when society sort of hands you the cloak of invisibility. You know, they put you out to career pasture. You're deemed to have passed your amuse-by date. And it's not just me imagining that women at my age are invisible. A couple of years ago, MI5 said they wanted to recruit middle-aged women because nobody sees us. And I found this happened in my own career. After all these bestsellers and all these languages I was publishing, etc., when I took this idea of the story about 4 middle-aged women taking revenge on the men who have sabotaged their careers, they said, oh, nobody really... My agent and my publisher were like, nobody wants to read about middle-aged women, they're just not sexy. And so then my publisher dropped me, and I thought, gosh, maybe I have passed my amuse-by date. I mean, I had a real crisis of confidence. And every time I read about a woman my age in a book, she was sort of dying of loneliness in some dismal flat and sort of wilted away and got eaten by her cats. And I thought, I don't know any women like that. All my women friends are swinging off a chandelier with a toy boy between their teeth. So I thought, no, and I persevered, got a new agent, got a publisher, and, of course, the book's gone to #1 in Australia.
OK, so therein lies the... I mean, you must have great delight now in thinking they said that and there is an appetite.
That's right.
People want to read this stuff.
Well, just let me give an evil chuckle. I was very thrilled to have that kind of revenge.
Have you kind of sent a little note?
Totally, yes, of course.
Did you get a reply?
No, strangely, no. But, you know, we've got to look at this idea of ageist sexism. I think it is the last big battle women have to fight. We've taken the stigma out of menopause, but what happens to you next, I think, is really challenging. I mean, the sexism is sewn into our psyche. You know, like, I mean, Charlie, you were seen as a silver fox, right? Whereas I'm just a few years older than you, but I am an old crone, an old bag and a hag. I mean, you never hear a man dismissed as mutton dressed as ram. Do you? Ever? So it is a big battle we have to fight.
Mutton dressed
I think
as
that one's
ram.
going to sit. I hate to say it, but I think that one's going to sit somehow.
Mutton dressed as ram. Do you know what I
Yeah.
think? Sorry, in this book, you have some great put-downs and some great phrases.
Excellent.
It's so funny. There was one, I think, you're boring me so much, I think you're going to hit oil.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You must feel that sometimes with some of your guests on this couch.
Not you so far.
Well, I guess my message for women is just, you know, go forth and be fabulous. Have a sensational second act. And don't feel guilty about it either. You know, you think of mothers, I mean, think of all the acres of toast you've buttered, all the flocks of lamb you've roasted. You know, you've paid your dues. And now is your time. For the first time in your life, you can kind of cut the psychological umbilical cord that's kept you tethered to the kitchen by your heart and your apron strings. And you can have a brilliant time. And we just have to get society to stop wrapping us in this cloak of invisibility. But if they are going to put us in a cloak of invisibility, shall we use the cloak for good or for evil? I'm thinking evil. Naga, what about you?
I'm not getting drawn into it.
Given that you have had a long career that we've talked about and, you know, you've been involved in arts and the culture for a long time, do you think it's got worse? Where do you think all of this sits?
Well, I think, you know, women do suffer from facial prejudice. We get judged on our looks in a way that men don't. you know, unless you go and have a lot of cosmetic surgery. My mother told me never to pick my nose, especially from a catalogue. Ha, ha, ha. But I am against cosmetic surgery because I think, why can't men just read between my lines, you know?
But then saying that, you've got the likes of Judi Dench, who, you know,
fabulous.
absolutely celebrate.
Yeah.
You've got Meryl Streep, you've got, you know, some brilliant women who are just saying, you take me and I am still successful and still fantastic. So there are role models out there who are now being seen, whereas they would have been discarded in the past, and probably had moments in their careers where they were kind of dismissed.
Yeah, I suppose it is getting a tiny bit better because we're starting to talk about it now. And there are very few women we can talk about who are seen as those role models. Mostly you just get sort of, as I said, put out to career pasture. So I think. But this book is not just a revenge. It's not just giving women some diabolical ideas on how to take revenge on the men who sidelined them. It's also a celebration of female friendship. Because, as you know, Naga, you wouldn't get through life without your female friends. I think your women friends are your human wonder bras.
That's what I was gonna say.
Uplifting, supportive, and making you look bigger and better, you know? I mean, I'm wearing a wonder bra now, and it's so cool because when you take it off, you do wonder where the hell your breasts went. So never wonder where your girlfriends have gone. Hold each other close. Let your cups runneth over with love for each other.
Even that, the female relationship, the way women support each other, that has changed, because I think many have seen out when they were pitched against each other, and actually that has changed massively.
Yes, I mean, I think the sisterhood is so powerful when we come together. And so the premise of this book, I thought it was a clever idea. When I thought of it, I thought, this is clever. It would make a great TV series, which is in the works now. But the idea is that as you know, these 4 women were at university together, haven't seen each other for 30 years. Something bad happened at uni, we don't know what. But one of them's gone to LA to write special effects, work in special effects movies. And she's coming back to London and she says to them, let's get together. You know, to hook up after all these years. And they're a bit trepidatious, but you know how women are. You get together, pick up where you left off, chat, 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 laugh, laugh, laugh. 3 of them are there. They're waiting for Joe from America. And then this man comes and sits at their table, and they're like, what are you doing here? You know,
I feel like I've got to ask you to hold the plot, because you can't say too much. Notice how I've been in listening mode.
You have been in listening mode.
I've been listening mode, right?
Yeah, that's right, which is
Jack,
also unusual
right?
for men who mainly monologue at you. They treat you like a full-length mirror. But anyway, I won't give away the plot, but it is a clever premise.
And The Revenge Club is the book.
The Revenge Club is the book, that's right.
It's out on the 9th of May, and there's a very interesting twist at the end. That is all I will say.
Well, I just wanted to say to you, what does a man really want in bed? Us, but what does a woman really want in bed? Breakfast and a really good book. So that's my top tip for you,
Us and
Charlie.
a book.
I was so worried at that point. Genuinely, I was worried about where we were going. That's it.
Discover unique stories,